Hey, what's up guys? Max here. Let's talk about this crazy deal, this crazy buff that Kabam just did to the daily stamp. So first of all, let's figure out, how do you get the stamp? Okay, what is this stamp everybody's going crazy about? I don't know. I don't spend money in the game, but I'm here to find out what it is, right? So if you're Valiant, if you're Paragon, you are able to get something called the daily stamp. If you go to the unit tab store right there, where I can actually go to the store, and if you go to the unit store on the top left, you're going to be able to see this section where Kabam brings out these offers. Now we're going to focus on only Valiant only for now. If you want Paragon, we can do a separate video for Paragon, but let's talk Valiant. So you pay $5 a day. Every day it resets. You're able to pick up one of these stamps, okay? On a weekly, we won't go too much into details, but Kabam brings out this $9.99 option, and you get 2 stamps, for that. But the resources are a little bit tweaked as well. If you can tell, amount of fragments, items, and resources are different. So the idea here, what got buffed is basically one in game. There's something called the black ISO mark. No, not the black ISO mark. The store. The store on the far left. And if you go to the Valiant stamp card, you're going to look into a preview, and you're going to see all the changes that Kabam made. And we'll go into the forums a little bit too, because we're going to dive into what people are saying about this, as people are actually calling this a NERF. I mean, I get it, as some stuff were removed, but it's not a NERF whatsoever. Now, every player is different. In my shoes, and in the way that I play the game, this is a game changer. This is going to be giving the players that are willing to spend $5 a day, $150 a month, whether you do it only a week, or you do it on a regular basis. And it's a smart move by Kabam too. Again, I'll tell you why here towards the end of the video, but let's talk about the players that are going to be doing this, right? You can only trade in your stamps once you reach a total of 7 stamps for one of these items. So it's not like a daily thing, okay? It's not that you can do this every day. At the end of 7 days, picking up those stamps, you can come in and say, hey, I have enough stamps, because it requires 7. As you can see the 7 up there, it requires 7. You see it there, a requirement 2. And then you're going to be able to choose one of these resources, okay? Now, ideally, I'll tell you what the most focused one should be, just for almost every single Valiant player out there, is going to be the T4 Alpha Fragments, Catalyst Fragments, okay? When it comes to the 7-star hero shards, don't even pay attention to those 5,000. When it comes to the Titan shards, maybe you're just like, it's happened to me, where I'm like literally 1,000 shards away from the Titan shards, and there's no other available option in game. I like exhausted every single possibility, and it's just not available, and I really want to open that Titan crystal. Okay, trade your stamps for that. But don't do the math and sit there and do the math and try to say, hey, I need to get to 20,000 frag shards. How many times do I have to buy this stamp to get to 20,000? That is, ideally, from my perspective, it is not the point of this Valiant stamp card. When it comes to the 7-star Titan shards, when it comes to the 7-star shards, when it comes to even the 7-star 6 stones, those are meant for you to like, I need 26 stones. I need 5 6 stones. I need 1 or 2 6 stones to get my champion to like the perfect ideal sig ability. Whether it's 100, 120. Don't sit there and do the math and be like, all right, how many 6 stones do I need to get to 200? No, that is going to be crazy, because it's not worth it. Like, it's not. It's ideally for those players that are going to be like, hey, you know what? We talked about this. Starkey is ideally perfect for me in my books, SIG 200, of course, but if I can't get him to SIG 200, I think I would love to have him at like 660 or anything above 660, So like I can say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna focus a month. Ideally, my Starkey right now is SIG 40, let's just say in a perfect world, and I just need 20 more 6 stones to get him to my ideal area of like what I consider the perfect SIG level, or ideal start SIG level for my champion. And so in a month, you're going to be able to get this 4 times, right? 4 weeks in a month. So that's 26 stones. So boom, a month worth of spending of, for those 6 stones. But it's also, don't look at it that way, even though I just presented it that way. Look at it as like, this is a icing. This is the cherry on top of everything you're picking up and everything you're getting for picking up that $5 offer for the next 7 days, 14 days, 30 days for the entire month, you know? So that's the ideal situation. And that's how I'm looking at it, maybe. And that's why I don't see this as a nerf, because I'm looking at the forums and people are calling this a nerf and people are like boycotting this. Like, I don't see it, but you know, everybody has a view of how they see this, because when Kabam typically, or when anybody takes something out of the equation that you're used to seeing, you're gonna see that as a nerf, right? But it's truly not. Okay, so let's focus on kind of how I'm viewing this ideally, right? So every 7 days, you're gonna get 19, or I'm gonna get 19,000 fragments towards a catalyst, towards my next rank 3. Now, that's every 7 days. So ideally, if I pick this up an entire month, at the end of a month, I have one entire catalyst. Okay, this is on top, by the way, on top of the amount of little baby fragments that I'm getting every single day for picking this up. On top of other fragments from like raids, from the new updated, which we haven't even made a video about, shame on me, the glory store. Okay, this is on top of every other area that you're able to get fragments from. So I did the math, and if you were to pick 2,850, multiply that by 30, that's 85,000 fragments at the end of the month. So not only do you get a fully formed catalyst plus some from just picking up this deal every day from the trade stamp store, you're going to get another fully formed catalyst. And then if you're playing in ideally higher competitive alliances, or alliances that are pushing, alliances that are focused a little bit on the AQ raids, alliances that are pushing battlegrounds as well, whether you push in battlegrounds, whether you push when Kabam launches certain game modes and gives us, you know, rewards, and you get to get fragments or fully formed catalysts from that. At the end of a month, you should, if pick this up, be ranking up a rank 3 at the end of a month. Now, this obviously doesn't cover all the resources you're going to need when it comes to a rank 3. You're going to be like, hey, Max, first of all, let's say I need to take a champion from rank 1 to rank 2 to rank 3. Yes, you are going to need a couple of more items, but the one that stalls everybody, it's not the 1 to 2. For majority of players, it's the one from 2 to 3. And it is that catalyst right there. That is the one that stalls most of players, at least in the groups that I play in, the alliances, the type of players that I play with, you know, those are the ones. And again, this is why I think this update is not for everybody, but it is going to be for the players that maybe view it, or maybe you're not viewing it the way I am, but maybe now you are, view it or play competitively at a higher level of gameplay. Maybe you're interested in getting into that level of competitiveness, and you're like, hey, I do need to increase the amount of rank 3s I got into my, you know, champion inventory. Let me try that for like a month or 2, or maybe just try it for maybe not this month of November, because we're going to have, you know, the cyber deals coming here at the end of the month, you know. So is it a good time for this to be buffed? Yes, because regardless, we need the buff. Okay. But once it's all said and done, once cyber deals are completely gone, once the banquet event is completely gone, and we're just on a regular daily, kind of monthly, weekly gaming basis, let's say this is going to be a great situation to be able to buy yourself, earn yourself another rank 3 every month, you know? And if you're like a typical like player that just kind of opens a lot of 7 stars plus, forget that. You're going to be able to open a lot of 7 stars. Why is that? Because every single day you're going to be getting 1,000 shards. Plus the shards you get for, like, let's say, playing event quests. Even though I didn't do it, there's a Paragon Stamp that I think needs a complete change as well. There's some 7-star shards there for just playing the game. There is 7-star shards from the side quests, 7-star shards from like playing Alliance War. One of the most important things is being a part of an alliance that plays, whether somewhat competitive, somewhat aggressive. It doesn't have to be the #1 alliance in Alliance Quest, Alliance War, Battlegrounds. It doesn't have to be that. You know, you just have to be in an active alliance that's pushing a little bit, because you're going to be getting 7-star shards or fragments or of these resources from all these places. Like, if you push in Battlegrounds, you get 500. You can get this 10 times. So you can, it's 19,000, tokens, but you're going to be able to get shards. There's different ways to be able to get it to at least increase the chances of you being able to open champions. And the reason why I'm harping so much on the getting champions, because the idea of this daily card is to be able to take your champions to the next rank, which is rank 3. And I'm saying the one thing that holds us back the most is that T4 alpha. So with this new change, ideally for a player like me that sits in with Relax, which we typically place in raids and AQ in the top 3 every single month, typically, we push in Battlegrounds. We somewhat play and push in Alliance War. It's not that we don't play the game mode. We do a decent job. We're not just like the most skilled players for Alliance War, but we do and hold our own. And it's the perfect place to be at, to be able to get new champions, whether they're prestige champions, champions for defense, champions for offense, to be able to enhance your account consistently. Yes, with some money being spent to be able to get more rank 3s. Hopefully you guys see that. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what your point of view of this, but this is a buff in any way that I look at it. This is a huge buff. Now let's go to the forums, because I said there is people that are calling this a nerf and people that are boycotting this, which it's fine. Like, I am so forward to like people agreeing and disagreeing and saying, hey, that's not for me. There's a bunch of deals that I've said in the past, like early access bundles. Those are kind of not for me anymore, and people might be like, dude, Max, that's the only way to get a guaranteed champion. What's up? Do you not like the game? Do you not want to play the game? Do you not want champions to be able to play more of the game? But yeah, here's a comparison. Basically, this is what we got right now. This is what we had literally less than 24 hours ago when it comes to the stat card. Thank you to Cassidy for giving us this infographic. And the most and biggest complaint is about the T6 catalyst. People not being able to turn in their tickets for a fully formed catalyst. That is the complaint. I'm not sitting here waiting 7 days to get a specific catalyst. I'm not. I mean, there's going to be players that are, but I'm not one of those players. And if that is you, then let me know in the comments, like, hey, Max, I every 7 days bought the daily stamp, and that was my cherry on top, the fully formed catalyst. Well, let me tell you, man, the reason why I don't agree with that, and if you have an argument about that being nerfed, I get it. Okay. I understand, because let's see here. Right here. It does require a lot of catalysts to be able to rank a champion from 1 to 2, and then from 2 to 3. That's from 1 to 2, you need 4. And then from 2 to 3, you're going to need another 5. Understandable. You need a lot of these. Once you get your champions, once you have a majority of your champions at rank 2, you're going to realize rank 2 is enough, but I don't get that extra advantage. I really need it on my rank 3s. And the rank 3s are the champions that are really getting you that extra defender, that extra offensive power, When going into Battlegrounds, playing against a couple of Celestial players, not all, playing against a lot of Valiant, Mysterium players, you're going to run into accounts with multiple rank 3 champions. If your opponent puts a rank 3 bullseye per se, and you have a rank 1 or rank 2 bullseye, and you guys are offensively attacking with the same rank 3 or rank 2, your chances of not being as fast because your defense is not there, rank 3, is going to go towards the other opponent. I'll tell you, the skill level is the same. Everything's the same. The health pool, obviously RNG in the fight might be like the influencer, but it's going to be ideally the rank 3 on defense. And that's why I'm saying I get it. But these T6 catalyst fragments are going to be able to claim in other places. You can go ahead in other stores, the Glory store, the Battleground store, when it comes to alliances. You can go ahead and get some crystals, some actual fragments if needed, to be able to focus on a specific class catalyst. So these are the ones I'm referring to. 25% of a crystal, 2,410, or you can go with the selector, which is 25% as well. But that is the argument that I'm seeing actually on the forums when people are saying, I can't believe, like, for example, this Zola person, Dr. Zola person, instead I chose to go with the Paragon. Now I only get 75% of a T6 as opposed to a full T6 that was previously available for Valiant. You're telling me that you rather choose T6 class Catalyst over the most rarest of Catalyst in the game right now. That is your focus. Why? Maybe he doesn't or she doesn't have, enough rank 2s. Maybe they're working. They don't even have a rank 3. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why the focus of the player, like I said, this is not going to fit everybody, but not everybody is in the same situation. And it can be said, like, I think the argument's being said there is like, hey, now with the change, my focus was on the class Catalyst. I'm getting less. I have to choose the Paragon Stamp. And let me take you to that in the game real quick. So if we go to the store, and if you go to the Paragon Stamp, and you're a Valiant player, and you're like, no, I really need those fragments. Well, yes, you're going to get 3 of them, which means it's 75% instead of a fully formed Catalyst. But keep it in mind, like, if that's what you need, then I would say there's going to be battlegrounds, like other stores, to be able to get enough to get you to the fully formed Catalyst. But I would still encourage you, even if you're just like, hey, I really need these fragments, to still focus on the limited, really hard to get fragments, which are the T4. Even if you end up with like 2 or 3 fragments, get those first and then work on the class Catalyst to be able to get your champions to like rank 2, rank 3. Work on that, or get it from other places, work on your rank 2. And then that way, when you do get your champion to rank 2, you're still working towards the process, but you also have materials to be able to like, hey, now I don't need those really hard to get limited items in the game at the moment to be able to get my champion rank 3. I have that checked off. Now I can focus on the class Catalyst. Those are going to be harder to get than the fragments. So let me know in the comments whether you guys are seeing kind of like viewpoint on that. And that's why I don't see it as a nerf, because you got somebody else in here. I read another comment. Really was hoping for an increase of T6 class Catalyst as well, not the removal. Okay. There is a lot of people, again, and obviously if you have players that agree on something, you're going to be able to find somebody that agrees with you, right? And that's what seems to be happening. I don't see too much like, dude, like I should go in there and log in, which I would have to find out my password and everything, looking and type in and be like, guys, check out this video. This one. This is like, what are you guys talking about? This is really good as a change for players. But again, in a world of like, what should you focus on every single week? It's going to change. Focus it on what you need the most. It's not a requirement to be able to pick this up. At the end of the month, if you do pick it up, you are spending quite a big penny. It's $150. But on one side, I hope if Kabam is picking up 150, like 5, let's do it. 5 times 30, it's 150. Let's say there is about 8,000 players that pick this up. That is $1.2 million. Now, yes, Kabam's not going to get that 1.2 milli every month. There's going to be some deductions and some royalties that they have to pay and stuff. But I hope that does provide a good foundation of income for them to be able to put it into the things we need. The lag, the delay, the AI. Let also be focus on creation and changes and stuff like this. But we need a good working game majority of the time. We need implementations of things that get introduced into the game that work or properly work. The good thing that I've noticed, though, to give good credit to Kabam, though, is that once something is implemented and it's not working properly, have been pretty quick to like resolve it lately. There's been still things that are sitting like bugged out champions still that have not been fixed. Maybe they've forgotten. Maybe they don't realize about it. They just kind of went over the head. Maybe it was something that was on the to-do list and other priorities kind of pushed it off, and now they don't even know it exists. But lately, on some of the little things, they've kind of paid attention to and fixed it, somewhat fast, a week or so. But yes, we do need to avoid those completely. Would be like the perfect world. And with the amount of monies that they're getting now, let's say if 8,000 people get it for the first month, that's $1.2 million, minus royalties, taxes, and everything. How much money do they get? Maybe like $500,000? I don't know, but still, good amount of money for 1 month of one resource item that's being purchased, plus the early bundles, plus the offers that come out in the game, like these, like, hey, this $39.99, Enough talk, guys. Thank you for sitting this long. I know I wanted to cover the forums post. I wanted to cover like perspective, different angles. Let me know whether you're picking this up as well. And did I get too excited on this video? I just think that is going to be a game changer for the players that do end up picking it up. Rank 3 coming in once a month, typically, with if you pick it up every single day. All right, guys, take care. Drop a like on the video. Appreciate it. Peace.